Well guys, it's been a long time since I've done one of these. I need to do these a lot more, but it's back for another Victoria 2 tutorial. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about how national focuses work. So you're probably wondering, unless you're from Hoi 4, which I think is the only other Paradox game that has national focuses. Although in that game they are a lot different than they are on here. What are they? Well, they are special things that you can do that can help increase stats and stuff. So how do you get them? How many do you get? And how do you use them? Well, every country at the beginning starts off with at least one. You get at least one national focus. And it's this number right up here. Now, you get a second one if you become a secondary... not secondary. If you become civilized. So, if you become civilized, you gain 2. Now, you can gain up to 5 more national focuses, I believe it was. I need to check it really quickly. 3, 4. Okay, you gain up to 6 if you get for the rights of man. So you can only get 1, but then you get 6 more if you research political thought. So you can have up to a maximum of 7. Now, just because you research all these does not mean you automatically get them. You only get a national focus for every 400,000 of your country's culture. So like for example right here, America has 3.116 million Yankees in the country. So therefore America could have up almost 8 national focuses. Now the max you can have is 7, which kind of sucks, but that's the case. So a very populated homogenous country like America, like Japan, all of them, getting all those 7 national focuses are very easy. But if you are a very small populated country or a country with a massive demographic imbalance, diverse and all that, you're gonna have a hard time getting up those national focuses. I remember I've done so many games where I play very small populated countries like Seacom or something like that, and I have a very difficult time even getting up to 2 national focuses because the population just won't go up enough to hit the 800,000 required. So in order to get all the national focuses, you need, I think it's 2.8 million people of your culture in order to get them all. So that's what you gotta do. You gotta research them all, but then you have to have population of your culture in order to get them. So now that you know how to get them, how do you use them and how do you apply them? Well, there's 2 ways you can apply them. One, you can press on a state, and you can press this button right here, and then pick them all right here and place them. Or you can also go up here and press on the state right here and apply them right here, like so. And then when you have 2 of them, or when you have your max done, and you want to add a different one, you have to decide which one you want to remove. So, anyways, now that I got that explained, now the question is, what do these national focuses do? What purpose do they use, and are they useful? All right, so I'm going to start with talking about them. The first one I'm going to talk about is party loyalty. This national focus will increase the party support of a party in a certain state. Now, it does not make the people, the pops in your state, more towards that ideology. It makes them more likely to vote for them. So, is it useful or not? It kind of depends. The main problem is that the bonus is extremely small. See, the daily loyalty changes by 0.0001, which is extremely small. Like, it's not really that noticeable. In order to have a major effect of use, you need to get like all 7 national focuses and then just spam all these out, and then you'll probably notice a massive change. So what it does is it just helps your the political party you want to win get in power, basically. But since it's so weak, it's not really the best thing to use. If you're a very small country, that could maybe work because it's so small that it could be easily changeable by the small amount. But if you're like a really big country like America, you're going to need like a whole bunch of those national focuses on these alone to have any major impact, along with calling elections to get the events that you need in order to change them. So are they useful? It depends, but probably largely not, especially if you are a HM's government or a Prussian constitutionalism where you can just change the political party as you want, so it doesn't matter. Now, in mods like the New World Order mod, this is much strengthened, so they actually could change the outcome of an election even with just like 1 or so. but this is vanilla. Alright, so the next one is immigration. Well, so what the Attract Immigrants does, it gives a 20% modifier bonus to the state you put on to make make pops more likely to migrate to that state. It does not increase immigration, it just makes the current immigrants 20% more likely to go to that state. That also, I think, includes people wanting to move in your country from another state to another. So, is it really useful? Unfortunately, it's only useful in the New World. So, Americas and Australia, New Zealand. That's it. It is completely useless in Asia, Europe, and Africa, except maybe for migration, but I don't know how much that would really work. Since the Americas already get a boom in immigrants, that would really help out, but in my experience, I don't really notice that much of a benefit from boosting immigration, even in America, which gets a whole bunch of immigrants. So this one, I honestly would say, is probably useless. There are some mods, I think I remember correctly, that had immigration bonus up to 200%, and they let you do it in other parts of the world, not just America. Like I know in the New World Order mod, this actually works for everywhere in the world. So, but otherwise in vanilla, this is completely useless if you're in Europe, Africa, and Asia. And even in the New World, I think it's still largely useless. You're probably better off getting immigrants by just becoming democratic and doing reform. So this one is largely useless. Alright, next up is production. And this goes to railroads as well. So these national focuses make it more likely for capitalists in your country to produce, try to build these factories, like this textile industry. With this bonus, capitalists are 18% more likely to build regular clothes or luxury clothes factories and such like that. Now, is it useful? One, it's only useful if you have at least state capitalism. If you have planned economy, which capitalists are not allowed to invest at all, then it's completely useless. If you have planned economy, this is entirely useless. Same for railroads too, since capitalists can't do anything under planned economy. Now, if you're state capitalists and below, interventionism and laissez-faire, they maybe could be useful. There is largely, if you're like state capitalists and interventionists, well, state capitalists, you could just build your factory, so that's still largely useless, but at least the option would be there. Interventionism and laissez-faire would probably be more useful for these focuses, because I remember, I think I did an Ireland game last year or so, and I was laissez-faire, and I unlocked telephones, but since I was laissez-faire, I couldn't build them, so I encouraged my capitalists to build them, and oh my god, like within a few months, every state I encouraged them to do that, they built them. So, if you're laissez-faire and you unlock something new, and you can't build it, this actually would be very good to encourage. So, these are the best when you have like laissez-faire, when the capitalists can't build the exact state factories you want, so you can just encourage them to build these, and they'll make them make better, smart, informed factory decisions. So, don't use these at all if you're on planned economy, because it won't work. Honestly, you're probably not better off using it either as state capitalism, since you can just build the factories you want, but if you're interventionist and certainly laissez-faire, which you have no control over the factories whatsoever, these would be useful. Railroads, I don't think as much, since you could just build the railroads as you want, but if you want, go right ahead. But in my experience, they usually just make the railroads regardless. Alright, then the last promotion. Last national focus. Well, actually, no, there's one more after that, but this is the one that's largely useful, is promotion. These national focuses make it more likely for your pops to promote to this group. So you can encourage them to become aristocrats, artisans, bureaucrats, capitalists, clergymen, clerks, craftsmen, farmers, laborers, officers, and soldiers. So how are they? These are most likely the national focuses you're going to be using to gain. But the main ones you're going to be doing are, first, clergy, because when you increase clergy, they increase your literacy rate, which makes your people more literate, which helps them promote faster, and also increases your research points, too. So when you're an uncivilized country, you want to get your clergy to at least 2% in each state, and ideally the maximum you can get is 4%, but at least 2%. So that one is you're going to be doing a lot. Another one you're going to be using a lot is bureaucrats, because the more bureaucrats you have, the more money you'll make, the more likely Pops will have promote too as well. And if you have them in colonies and you have 1% of your primary culture and that state bureaucrat, you could turn them into a state, so they're very good. You'll also be doing capitalists, but only if you have at least state capitalism, but better off with your laissez-faire or interventionism. And although it doesn't, I don't think it says it, but in my experience, capitalists need at least 40% literacy nationwide in order to be really effective at promoting. Otherwise, they don't really promote as much. But the more capitalists you have, the more likely to build factories, which is very good if you want to be laissez-faire because you need a whole bunch of capitalists. Next one is craftsmen. The more craftsmen you have, the more people will be employed in your factory, which immediately helps your industry score and helps the factories out too in terms of production. Clerks, same thing. Clerks, you do need 40% literacy in order to promote. They will not promote unless they're 40% literate. So get that up as high as possible. And they're more beneficial than craftsmen, but they also are not as required as craftsmen are. So you can only do a little bit of them, like capitalists. Like for clergy, you need 2% to be effective, and 4% is max. Bureaucrats, you want at least 1%. Capitalists and clerks don't really have like a high ceiling or floor. You just need a small amount of them to work. And then the last one that's really useful is soldiers. The more soldiers you have, the bigger your army can be. So you want to get these up to at least 4% to 5% in your states in order to have a big army too. Otherwise, as you go to war, these guys die out, your army strength up here will die out, which you don't want. That's why after every big war, you want to focus like crazy on getting these guys up so you can have more troops. Alright, and then the last one is, this one I can't show you and use you yet because I'm not playing the right country. I'm going to have to go over to a better country to use it. The main country that does use it too, Greece. Alright, so, let me go back up here. This is the, oh, wait, I think I had to go, here we go, right here. This is the increased tension cause of national focus. This is a unique national focus that can only be done in certain circumstances, which is why I did it as Greece. Because Greece is the main one that does it. What this national focus does is, it's the only one that you could use in countries outside, states outside of your control, like Turkey here. What it does is, it increases the flashpoint tensions every month. And that'll make it more likely for a crisis to break out in that area, so a crisis war could break out. That's why it's very useful. That's why it's like almost exclusively useful for like Greece and other countries, like in the Balkans and places like here, because you can encourage a crisis war, and it's a good chance that maybe the big powers in the world will support you, so you can help get your territory back peacefully, pretty much. Now, is it useful? Like I said, it's only useful when you're playing like Greece or other countries, but in my experience, honestly, not really. I know for a fact it is useful, because I've seen people use it when they play like Greece and stuff, and it really helps them out. But in my experience, with trying to force a crisis war, it's just not been useful, sadly, unfortunately. But hey, maybe if I play Greece again, maybe I'll be lucky. But that's all the national focus is. Party loyalty is good only in certain circumstances. Immigration, in my experience, is not good. Production is good under certain circumstances. And promotion of Pops is one you're going to mostly be focusing on the vast majority of its use. And diplomacy is only useful in certain circumstances. Alright, so I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned more about the game. So see you guys next time, as I hope to do more of these videos very soon.